Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. Today's date is the 7th of May 2026. Just starting with the usual, an introduction, and then I'll just go on to the topic that's on my heart for this video clip. So for those that are new on board, I'm the narrator of this video clip. I'm the original Minnow Crichton. So I'm dealing with my YouTube channel and my court cases is dealing with my legal entity, my identity, my ideas, my intellectual property, and obviously my life as a person and anything that's tangible property and my existence as a human being. So basically I'm dealing with my court cases. It's been going on for this year will be the 10th year. So I'll update you guys in regards to that. I'm going to keep my court cases updated publicly because it's public interest and it is a global game. And I know a lot of people are watching and following me. It is the new age court system, and that is my personal experience of how it's all been set out. So it's quite... For me personally, I don't like this court system because of people's property, risk of being lost, and obviously it is the way things have happened to me. It is a trafficking ring, a trafficking in persons case. It's just a matter of me proving it. I thought today I was just going, because I'm working on my court case stuff and I'm just going through some emails and just going through some of my documents and stuff like that. And I thought today I will focus on the Mental Health Compulsory Assessment and Treatment Act 1962. Since I was derailed from my occupation, going back to 2015, I have not been able to advance financially or find myself a good job, and I didn't understand why, because I did everything right. But it was because of defamation, and little did I know that over the years people had actually turned me into a product, and then the opposing allies were actually using a product, disguising themselves as a product, but it's actually a global sport game. But I wanted to focus today mainly on the evidence for the Mental Health Compulsory Assessment Act, because the defamation has caused my damage to my reputation, going on also with the unlawful strikes written by the judges. But today I just want to prove what a setup is, and obviously the beginning of defamation, like people, like there's different types of mental health issues that is a danger to society, or could be a danger to the person themselves or to another person. Mental health is actually like really a serious issue. So when I was derailed from my occupation, I knew that what they did was an unfair dismissal. I knew it was a setup. So I can confirm historically I've been in a position where I am oppressed, or oppression has taken place, where I have felt exiled or intentionally being exiled and singled out publicly. Then I would get the where everything is declined when I apply online or different applications. I do everything correctly and they don't go anywhere, or just hit the brick wall. When that happens, it's an obvious sign of blacklisted or blocked. So there's been a lot of blocking going on. Then to my own personal discovery, I realized that they were inciting my life or my intentions, my soul, like a sport historically. So I was horrified when I realized that that's what they did, and that they had actually coded me. So congratulations for those that catching those people out. I'm just like have moved into my new apartment just this week, and I have a TV in my room, and I've just been watching it yesterday and today, and I have to say congratulations to those that are watching me and doing their bit to stop the inciting, because it is diminishing, which is good. It's still there. There are still people there that are coding or who have coded me to incite. So I've had, like, I just wanted just to mention that I know that I'm winning. Things are getting a bit better. It is progressing positively. But in saying that, it hasn't been easy. It's been a very detrimental to my mental health, everything that I've gone through, feeling exiled, feeling like I lost everything or isolated. And it's not a very nice place or position to be in. So on this video clip, I'm going to concentrate on the evidence linking to the misuse of misuse of the Mental Health Act. It's illegal to actually use the Mental Health Act on anyone without any evidence. It's a crime in New Zealand, and it still is a crime. So those who have used it illegally, for like example what they've used it on me for, obviously to cover up and it was just a form of defamation, so nobody will believe anything I say. Now in the Crimes Act, illegal setup has a penalty of 3 to 5 years imprisonment. In the law, it says setting up traps, etc. Etc. actually means, according to the legislation, is anything. Etc. is like just another word of saying anything that if you can prove is a setup, and if it's caused damage or harm another person, then that is a criminal offence. So I've been just going over the evidence, and sometimes when I look at the evidence again and just refresh my memory with everything that I've gone through, I can see quite clearly that I was set up by my employer. The unfair dismissal, everything was a setup. And that is why I sued them again, even though I had already did that in 2016 on 6th of May through the employment process mediation, and I won against my employer. However, I've just been going over the evidence, and today I'm going to go over the evidence to kind of show in this video clip that they did set up. Just in other words, and actually evidence, there is nothing wrong with me mentally, but I know people gossip and defamation, and just the destroying of somebody's reputation just by using the Mental Health Act. It's been really hard to go forward, and for other people to actually take me seriously. So today I'm just going to go over some of the brief evidence. I will be submitting this evidence to the courts of appeal to do with my case. As you know, that the New Zealand Police and IPCA, those cases are pending. The judges have actually set a date for those two hearing to be heard together. Obviously, it's the same evidence for all of them. Same, like, even though I have found personally, doing my case myself, I have found that even though I've got, I think it's a total of 6 body corporates in my case I'm dealing with. If I just think on top of my head who they were, it's the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Health, City Med, New Zealand Police, IPCA, and PSA, Public Service Association. They all link together because of the protected disclosure. I have to say though, even though it's the case is about one single person, meaning myself, my liberty, each case evidence is similar, but it's not exactly the same. Meaning when I put the case together, the laws are different, where some laws are applicable in one case, and it's not actually applicable for the other case. Meaning, even though it's the same one person, meaning myself, this is something I've learnt. Because basically I am a paralegal, but I'm doing a lawyer's job without a law degree. But if you're watching my last video clip where I went over where the law says that I can personally represent myself, those laws are now deleted, but they've just deleted, but they've replaced those laws where you can still represent yourself, but it's a matter of finding where they are and just how you put your case together. But those laws going back to 2016, for example, if I die and then a criminal barrister takes over, all those laws become active, because that's because the case goes back to the protected disclosure. That's how it works in a criminal case. When a criminal barrister, or criminology is another word if you're into criminal, if you've got a criminal mindset or interested in criminal law, basically my case would be something that would be an asset or a good for you to learn from a personal case. So it is a real life case. I'm the lawyer, I'm the paralegal of my own personal property, which is my life, my liberty. So you can take tips out of it and protect yourself and your businesses. So that is what I'm up against. But today I'm going to quickly go over just show you clearly, as far as the Mental Health Act, there was everything is a setup. Unfortunately, it goes back to my employer, back to the Ministry of Justice when I was working there. If you were watching the last video clip, I showed a video clip of my employment specialist lawyer. Her name was Catherine Stewart and Stephanie Ball. They did an investigation, and as you can just read from the report that they wrote, it was quite clear indication that I was suffering from cybercrime. However, I did win that case, and there was a settlement, but because of the seriousness of what they did to me, because I am not satisfied with what they've done to me, linking to my liberty and my dignity, the cybercrime and the public scrutiny has not stopped, meaning I have not been able to go forward because of what they've done. I have not been able to have a peaceful life without interference, without being able to go forward without sabotage or the public scrutiny. So it hasn't been a nice journey for myself. I feel like I've been just pinned or oppressed and blocked and locked, while other people are using me for a pecuniary advantage without my consent. Okay, there's something that you need to focus or just bear in mind. They used the Mental Health Act on me because I had made lots and lots of complaints while I was working for my employer. That's quite clear with the things that I was alleging that was actually happening in the workplace. I was describing the crime scene, but they were actually psychological and mental abuse by those who were actually doing what they were doing to me while I was working for my employer. So I was just been going over the evidence to do with me leading up to being unfairly dismissed. Unfortunately, that evidence that was written by my employer, they took me off site. First of all, I'm upset. I was upset with PSA because it was actually me who actually put in the complaint against my employer and my workplace bullying. The funny thing is, I had a conversation. I have a very good memory, as you'll how I don't forget important things. Sometimes I forget, but if it's important, I'll come back. I will remember accurately later on what happened or what I said. So I do have a very good memory of things going back as far back as 2006 or yeah, just like real serious stuff. I have a very good memory about every single detail. But you can see why they used the mental health act on me, because they were trying to make out it was just a big cover up. Okay, so unfortunately, when I was thinking about what they put me through at work, I sometimes can't even believe I came out of that. Even though they pushed me out and derailroaded me, that I even came out of that working condition the way I did and still survive. But my belief is they used the act on me to try, well, obviously to defame. So, because I'm a very honest person, so if I say I've done this, I've done that, but everything's been a cover up, and then the whole public scrutiny, mocking what they've done to me historically has damaged my reputation historically over the years. It's a lot better now. I feel God is slowly just changing and shifting things in better for myself. But today I'm just going to go over the evidence with my employer, because I feel this is really important to make sure that it doesn't happen again to somebody else. The thing is, nobody did anything when I used a protected disclosure. Was the only application that is available to any employee when they are going through something like what I've gone through with discrimination in the office, or something that is not right, like when you feel like you're being personally attacked. I knew I was being personally attacked. I knew I was being singled out, and I couldn't do anything about it but just go along with what I was going through in the moment. Okay, I've just been going over some of the documentations here and from my employer. And I was just thinking, because of the importance, just to show and prove to the judges in my case, in regards to that everything is a setup, and that's why that's why I'm suing the body corporates, singular, because of no one did anything to help me while I was going through what I was going through. They were obligated to intervene, but they didn't. So that was a very dangerous situation that I'd gone through. And just like anybody else, I'm entitled to my justice, and basically I'm standing against the discrimination, the gross malfunction of the justice system. So today I'm just going to go over the evidence to do with my employer, and I wanted to show the actual setup, even just within written. This is why it's so important, if you work in public office, that what you're writing is in reality is in line with the evidence, and that we don't want to commit perjury. That's how sensitive the criminal laws are, the court system is. So to my own shock, horror, I didn't expect myself to go through what I'm going through, but I have. So I'm just going to go over the evidence. This here is a letter from my employer, the Ministry of Justice. This here, I'm going to exhibit it. It's done by Dan Brady. He's the service delivery manager. He's also was used for the relationship scam, secretly, indirectly. I don't know if he knew that, but I can confirm that he was linking to Eko Hardonga. And I've mentioned and I've shown photos of him, but he, I was just trying to get my head on why the hell did they do what they did to me. I mean, seriously, did they really think that I was going to let them get away with it, or they were going to get away with it? Obviously they did, but they did set me up. So this year's letter is dated the 1st of December 2015, and you see here it's written to Glenn Cooper. He was the PSA organizer. I'm really disappointed with PSA. I really, really am. I mean, I was a member with them for about 7 or 8 years. I was a PSA delegate. I was actively doing PSA delegate work and having a lot to do with the regional managers. So I was like actively doing stuff with PSA. And so I was really disappointed when I got into trouble with my employer, and they did nothing. The other thing I was really disgusted about was that it was actually me who actually complained about the workplace, not the employees. They didn't complain first. I complained first. But they took me off site, and then all the employees ganged up on me, and they did what they did. They took me off site for a couple of months. That was the suggestion of the employer. So that's why I didn't even get to say goodbye to anybody. But that was all part of their conspiracy setup. So what actually happened is they took me off site and made me go on sick leave for a couple of months. I think might have been 2 or 3 months. They took me off sick leave, and then they built an evidence against me. But this letter here, I wanted just to concentrate, because I feel if you're a judge in my case, or anyone looking into my case, you can't just take bits and pieces of a case and not deal with it all as one. Like, for example, I know a criminal lawyer is very competent, and they wouldn't take anything that if they were to read my case, they wouldn't take anything lightly, because you're dealing with somebody's liberty. So when you're dealing with where a person's liberty is at stake, or it's gone, obviously, their life is in serious danger because somebody is personally victimizing them. That's a very serious case. So I know every criminal lawyers, if they were going to make a decision about something, they have to know everything about the case. They have to know why this and why that happened, and just so then they don't make any mistakes when they make decisions surrounding judgments, because that's a bad thing, is to have a judgment backfire because you overlooked something or you just made a wrong decision. Yes, doesn't mean they're perfect, but I have never in my experience working for the courts have actually come across any judges who's made a wrong judgment about anything. But however, this is the new age system I'm subject to, and I contest it. I refuse to accept what they've done to me. But here, see this point 6 here says, I advise at today's meeting on advice, I will be providing Minna's name, date of birth, and GP's identity to Dr. Copen. So this is the doctor that the employer hired to write a mental health assessment on me, and I took him to court. I won that case, but the judge didn't make it a judgment on my case, so I appealed that decision. He wrote a mental health assessment on my mental health, and that's the reason why I lost my job, without even having a one-on-one consultation with me as the patient, if you know what I'm saying. So I didn't even know what he looked like at the time when I lost my job, but because of his report, they medically I will show that report to you guys. But this here is what happened, and then it led for me going to the mental health services for an assessment by my doctor. But this part here, point 6, Dan Brady's written, as advised at today's meeting on advice, I will be providing Minna's name, date of birth, and GP's identity to Dr. Culpable. This cause of action is undertaken reliance on principle. Well, one, I never consented it. When the ministry asked me to do a mental health assessment, I refused because they did this in 2009 with the report that I was talking about. And I knew that they were setting me up. I just had that feeling at that time that they were setting me up. And I thought, no, well, they're telling me verbally to go for a mental health assessment by the ministry's request. I said no because I'm entitled to say no, and I thought no. And then I thought to myself, I said to them, how about putting it in writing? And then I'll make a decision. So when they put why they wanted me to go for a mental health assessment, I knew it. I knew they were accusing me of being mentally something wrong with me. But you can tell here by what he wrote here, the available evidence satisfies me that Minna is not medically fit to properly perform the duties and responsibilities of her position by reason of mental illness or other mental health issues she is suffering. I can tell you guys, I wasn't there is absolutely nothing wrong with me when I was working for my employer other than they had set me up. Okay, so here he's put here, I formally terminate Minna's employment with the ministry on the grounds of medical incapacitated on the 1st of month notice. So here he's written reason why I'm being medically terminated from my job. So that's why I got a lawyer, because I just felt in my heart, well, because it's to do with my mental health, I need a proper lawyer to actually go and do the investigation. And I won my case. And so but this here is a setup linking to the misuse of the act by Dr. John Joseph and also by Dr. Ickham. There was two of them. So what I'm going to go here and just bear with me. So this here is all evidence because of yes, we settled, but because I'm claiming and I'm alleging that I got poisoned while working for my employer, that's conspiracy to commit murder, and I wanted that to squashes all this, even though we did a settlement in the criminal law. All these, they don't like because we sign a settlement doesn't mean anything because of what I'm alleging and saying what they did. I'll just go like this, you can just stop and read. But this is very serious working condition that I was working under. And even what the things they were writing about me, it was just like, that is just defamation. They took me off site for a couple of months, and then they built a case up against me. That's what happened. But my evidence can prove that I had suspicion that a criminal alliance was actually building up in the office. And it was. So they've used the Mental Health Act because the things that I was alleging, saying that they were doing, was really serious. There are reports there that I basically, like everything that I've been going over in regards to my crime scene when I was working for my employer, it's all in writing and some of the things that I said. So I'll just keep doing this. But this here is what I'd call a setup. Okay, so Dan Brady wrote that. Okay, just bear with me. I'm just trying to find the video clip. Just going over the evidence. I think this is it here. I'll put the links on the no, it's not. All right, this see what I just wrote to you, because of what my employer did, they my family GP sent me to the mental health services to get a medical certificate renewed for work and income, and it was that appointment on the 4th of July 2016 they used the act on me. Oops, sorry, that was the wrong one. Hold on a moment.
Oh, she's going through a court case and she just
This is the video clip with Dr. John Joseph. This is actually an exhibit in court.
I've been unfairly dismissed, and the Ministry of Justice trying to make out that I've got a mental health issue when I don't. Yeah, and I've got their report here of a doctor actually medically terminated my employment, and he hasn't even met me. He made a medical assessment on a investigation report that I put a counterclaim and disputed, because my complaints weren't being investigated. And MOJ tried to make me sign the consent form, and I asked them to do it, put it in writing. This is the second time they've done this to me. They did this to me in 2009. Okay. I came along not knowing why. I was going through gossip and defamation, all that sort of thing going on, discrimination in the office at that time. But I came, nothing came.
Okay, guys, I won't listen to all of it because the video clip is quite long, but I'll put the link there so you can all have access to it and listen to it yourself. But with the evidence I just showed you, with the on documentations leading up to the Misuse of Mental Health Act, and that is Dr. John Joseph that you're talking to. He is Indian, so I'll just carry on. And then there was Dr. Ickham after that. I don't have anything recording, but she was the one that advised me that I was being detained and that they were enforcing the act on me. So just bear with me. I don't have a mouse. I have to use my finger. So what I put on my post is exactly how I describe it. Okay. But I have to congratulate whoever's watching. I'm finding that my environment is getting a lot more safer. And being watching on the TV, the coding is definitely diminishing. So I know that some people are doing things they don't even realize they're breaking the law. So congratulations on those who are watching over my case and myself. I appreciate everything you're doing. So it's definitely a trafficking in persons case. Okay, it's 20 years imprisonment. But I think with the other body corporates, when I deal with them, I think I'm just going to press criminal charges rather than go down the civil with everything that I've gone through. So I'm just waiting to hear from the judges. Oh, sorry, no, I haven't. I'm still working on an application for them. The case for Independent Police Code of Conduct and New Zealand Police are both going to be heard before two judges. Okay, so my case is so it's just so personal. It's inhumane. Words can't even describe how it feels like intimately, and just your soul is like, I just feel, yeah, I wouldn't wish it even on my enemies. Okay. So I'm just going through my posts. All right, guys, I think I'll leave it there for now. I'll let you know how everything goes. I'm just taking one day at a time. Also, I had a talk with us, like in regards to the pregnancy. I know my privacy is gone and all the rest of it, but I've had to do this because I'm trying to save my life. So they're using I don't know who's behind what I'm going through. Basically, they've been wanting to, my word against theirs. And I'm still saying that I'm pregnant and that there is a baby in my stomach. It needs to come out. I had an appointment with my doctor this week, and we both, he had one of those Dopplers where you can listen to the heartbeat. We heard a heartbeat, and I just know that I'm hoping it's still alive. I just know that there is something there and it needs to come out. But I will let you guys know once I confirm whatever it is. I still believe it's a baby that I saw on the 1st of April, and the other scan that I was sent to have. The reason why I was having issues is because the doctors, they go by whatever the other doctor had put down, that I wasn't pregnant and that I was going through menopause. So that's a lie. I don't know who's behind it, but I'm yet to prove that legally. So I know that I've asked the higher court to intervene for my sake, and saying that it needs to come out. But I will be dealing with with the other body corporates involving my medical records, and I've made a decision that I will be pressing criminal charges rather than going through the civil, because that's culpable attempt or manslaughter of killing an unborn child if the baby doesn't make it. So that's how serious it is, my case is. But like I said, we heard a heartbeat, and I know somebody has said, you can hear the mother's heartbeat, but thing is, I heard a heartbeat, and I can't say it wasn't mine or it was the baby's or whatever it is, but that was just this week. I found that out. So I'm just keeping my court case open. Now, what the judges can do, they can see that I've actually went for a scan and I had x-rays on my chest, and I did tell those people that I am pregnant, so they would be liable to, you can see the baby and through x-rays and an MRI scan, okay? People can make up all their excuses they want, but a judge has the power or the warrant to actually have a look at those scans or get somebody professional for a second opinion or something like that to find out the truth, because it's quite clear. Historically, people have used me. I'm a whistleblower. They have stolen my identity, stolen money using my name, public funding money using my name historically. And so that's the kind of case it is. It is a trafficking in persons case. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. But I just thought I'd deal today on my mental health. And just to prove also, according legally and medically, there is nothing wrong with me. Like, I'm not a danger to anybody or anything like that. It's rather other people are a danger to me because of if they've been abusive or doing abusive things, that triggers my mental health. I've learned to live with it. So, but that is a danger of defamation if you're not aware of. It's quite clear. The evidence shows that somebody is trying to kill me. I allege that somebody poisoned me while I was working for my employer. And I have the right to find that out, who did it and who's behind it. And if they haven't been caught, then they need to be caught. So that is my case, and so thanks for watching. I'll update you guys once I hear or the outcome with the Court of Appeal. I'm just going with the flow. Hopefully I'll get close what I'm going through, but in my heart I feel it needs those people need to be prosecuted. That's how I feel. Yes, I feel they should be sued, but I feel they also should be prosecuted to make sure that they don't do what they've done to me, to somebody else, because it is a trafficking ring. They are stealing other people's liberty, is that kind of case. That's why trafficking in persons has a penalty of 20 years. But my intention, if I'm going to deal with all the other body corporates, I think I'm just going to go straight through to the criminal process, get a conviction, and they can get fined that way. But I'll leave it at that. Okay, thanks guys.